privilege of talking with Jody Day, and she is a Marine military spouse. And she and her husband have been going through some things, but you know, there is a positive outcome to what it is that they went through. And so let's continue talking about sleep.
Yeah, so he was getting that well rested sleep, and I know that was just contributing to his physical body healing, his back supporting that. And in that same time period, I'm learning and growing about the essential oils. I have a medical science background, but I hadn't worked in that field for a long time, raised our boys. And I really started delving into these essential oils, and we started using oils up and down his back morning and night, just oils that are known to support a healthy inflammatory response in the body, support nerve health. And we became very faithful with that. And our next little step of progress was taking oils internally. We learned how to make up a little capsule of um, what could replace his ibuprofen. Through the years, he's gone through a regime of different oils he's taken internally. But like currently, he takes in a capsule turmeric essential oil, copaiba essential oil, which is a very similar chemistry to CBD, but is not at all from the same plant. So copaiba, turmeric, frankincense, and Siberian fir. And these oils, he will tell you within 15 minutes, he just feels his body relaxing and easing. So, um, here we are, fast forward, like I said, this was 2014. Here we are, almost 7 years later, and he has remained faithful in all that he's been doing. It's easy to say it happened overnight. It didn't. He still has back issues. His back issues haven't gone away. They are much better than they were. He refers to them as manageable. He is able to manage his pain. He feels healthier. And I know all the oils, the supplements he's been using. His supplement is basically a really good whole food multivitamin with omega-3s and a lot of herbals that just support body pathways, support brain pathways. Um, and, he's a determined individual. So even 6 years ago, he still tried to do a lot more than he should have. But just last summer, he hiked Pikes Peak. Last weekend, he did the bar trail race, which was up to the base camp and down 13 miles.
Wow.
Uh, he was down and out for a couple days after, but he has his tools that we use, and he's doing the Pikes Peak ascent in August. So, um, and he just like I said, 7, 8 years ago, he was wearing pain on his face. He has a different countenance to himself. He just looks more vibrant. And going along with all that, the emotional baggage, just I know that emotions are at the root of a lot of physical pain too. So Scott having the back issues, his body was physically broken, but those emotional roots contribute to even more physical pain. So, it's just a beautiful cycle when you're addressing the physical issues, but you're addressing the emotional issues as well. That's going to support the physical body. And he is in a different place with his emotions. I he utilizes a lot of oils that help support the stress response in the body. So throughout his work week, he has the company I'm a part of is doTERRA, and it's been in clinical trials. They've developed what's called the adaptive system. And that's the name, adapt. It allows you to adapt to the stressors in your world. And that is his work week lifesaver. I can tell when he hasn't taken his adaptive, like on a weekend, even maybe at 11 a.m., I'll go, have you taken an adaptive capsule? So um, it's just, my heart, and I really haven't connected with a lot of veterans. It's interesting. My husband has tried. My husband was a Force Recon Marine. I mean, now it's MARSOC, but back was when he was in. And a lot of the guys he says he talks to really, it's just a touchy subject. He can't
Yes,
approach
it is.
guys like I'm approaching the women I talk to about things. A lot of them don't want it. They don't want to receive it. They aren't even interested. And
they're afraid of it. Jody, I was in the Army for 26 years. And a lot of my experience was in support of people like your husband, who in the Army counterpart to the Marines, I know exactly what your husband did. Part of what he did must never be spoken, because again, a lot of what we do is secret, and it has to be for national security reasons.
yep.
Okay. That's the sucky part of the fact that you and your husband go through this together. He knows what he cannot tell you, and you know that he knows what he cannot tell you. So all you can go by is what you see.
Mm-hmm.
You saw pain, and you saw agony, and you saw the countenance of your husband, who, let's face it, was not being able to move forward because of the emotions, because of the pain, because of the mental anguish, the night sweats, the night terrors, the remaking of what happened in your mind, and not being able to shut it off. For some strange reason, we are expected as military warriors and veterans to come back from that experience and leave it behind us. That's
Well,
not real.
and like I said, it you can have the thought intention you're going to leave it behind, but like I mentioned, those neurological pathways have been wired.
Yes.
So
we're going to talk more about that when we get back from these messages.